Welcome to the presentation of Drifter Devolution, a unique little platformer developed by the studio Drifter Devolution. We're a small student studio working out of Becker College, and we were led by thesis student Arthur Sappho.
Thank you, Jerry. This is Arthur Sappho, and I'd like to introduce you all to the first trailer of 2021 for Drifter Devolution. Thank you for watching. Take it away, Jerry.
Our goal was to produce a really gorgeous world with a player character that reacted to the environment, as well as creating an environment that could react to the player character as the player character moved around the game world. And I'd say we're pretty successful at achieving that goal. We have a really gorgeous game that we created. Our objectives this semester were to create 5 distinct levels, as well as flesh out a boss fight for the very end of the game. And in terms of the levels, we really wanted to make sure that each level built upon the previous one, letting the player test out the skills that they attain and practice them. Earlier on last semester, we started the prototyping process for developing these levels, and by the end of last semester and at the beginning of this semester, we picked our preferred prototypes, and those ended up being concepts that we delivered into the game. Ultimately, we settled on 4 levels as opposed to 5, due to the fact that we felt that we had 4 well fleshed out prototypes, and to create a 5th would be a little rushed. And we didn't want to put out something that felt incomplete. That second objective being the boss fight. That task was taken on by George Grammatikakis and George Hall, who did a great job in developing and programming the sequences. George Grammatikakis chose a couple games to look at and used established boss fights to design the interactions and the level design. And then George Grammatikakis and George Hall talked to one another and built the code from those design decisions. Some of the challenges we faced this semester were maybe not unique to us, but they ended up being pretty significant challenges. Working remotely meant that we needed to set up source control. And although a couple individuals were able to use source control, what ended up happening is that the source control wasn't always effective, and some team members just couldn't use it at all for various reasons. And so that that was difficult to deal with last semester. But by the second semester, we were able to work out a lot of the bugs that we were dealing with Taurus SVN. And in the instances where we couldn't necessarily work things out, we were still able to find workarounds by using Google Drive or other various transfer options to make sure that all of our files made it into the game. And last but not least, but our team members are George Hall, George Grammatikakis, Michael Robertson, Cashel Moore, Gerard Sampson, Edward Shee, and William Capellan. And then, of course, our fearless leader, Arthur Sappho.